What's up, everyone? Hope you're having a great weekend. We're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin, and you're not going to want to miss towards the end of the video. We're going to be looking at a macro comparison of the DXY, which is the dollar index, and Bitcoin in the macro. I want to show you some interesting things. Definitely stick around for the whole video. Also, don't forget we have a free Discord group. There's a link down below in the description. Definitely check it out if you haven't already. It's an awesome community, and let's get into it. All right, guys, as always, it's not financial advice, trading advice, nor is it investment advice. Don't forget, we do a free Ledger Nano S hard wallet giveaway. We do that every Monday. All you have to do to enter to win is make sure you are subscribed to the channel, tick that notification bell, and make sure your notifications are on, and then smash that like button and leave your comment below. That will get you entered to win. I'll pick a random comment from a random video. That'll be tomorrow, so make sure you tune in because you only have 24 hours to retrieve it. All right, so let's take a look at where we're at now. As you guys know, I've been watching this rising broadening wedge here, and we've obviously had touch at the top, touch at the bottom, touch at the top, touch at the bottom. I am expecting to come back down to this range before continuing to a new all-time high, if I'm correct. There is also a possibility that we're seeing an inverse head and shoulders here. Let's take a look at that and see where we're at. So on the bullish case, if you can see this, let me thicken this trend line so you can see it a little better. And so in the extremely bullish case, obviously we got rejected here at the golden pocket zone, which is the 0.618 and 0.65 fib. If we've topped out there, then we could possibly head towards these lower targets. Now, another thing that's really important, make sure you're subscribed, because in the morning, I'm going to try to get my morning updates earlier during the week so we can take a look at the stock market and what's going on, because the DXY and the dollar, or the Dow Jones, are very important to what's going on here. So anyways, and I know a lot of people think the dollar is dead. I'm going to show you why I believe, and I'm not saying the dollar is not going to die, but I'm going to show you why I believe the dollar is bullish for possibly the next year or so. But anyways, if we take a measured move of this, if it is an inverse head and shoulders, which I really don't like the looks of the difference of the shoulders here, but if we were able to come up and break this range, and let's put a target on this trend line, and right around 53.3. So watch there for rejection. If we pop above this, we could come up to the 0.65 at 55.91. I will put a target on there also. If we do get up there, get rejected, come back down, retest this trend line, then we could be going towards the new all-time high of 62.6 area would be the measured move. But if we do keep our rejection here and we cannot get back above this, I do believe we're probably going to see these lower lows before we see a high. If you guys been watching, you know this is, I'm looking at this as an A, B, and a C. Now, even if we get up to that 55, that could still be B, and that would just raise our targets down here. But looking at this as an ABC, if we went to the one-to-one extension, that's 37,250 range. The only thing that worries me about that, if we drop below this trend line on the wedge, now we could get that, come down to that 37, come back up, break back in here and get support. Obviously, that would be bullish. But if we do get all the way down to this 37.2 range, and we come back up here and get rejected, I do think we possibly have lower to go, because that could make this a 1, 2, and then a 3 would measure around 27.7 range, and then pop back up, retest the trend, and continue on down to the measured move here of around the 14.8 range. And if you guys watched the macro Elliott wave count, which I'm not going to do it in this video, as long as we don't get below 14, we could still continue up. Now, this would probably take about a year to get down to this range, so be aware of that if we've topped out. Now, if we do come up here and we break this top trend line, and that would all depend on where it broke. But if we did break that, get support on it, and you know, then we could be looking for that $90,000 Bitcoin people are talking about, possibly higher. It all depends on the dollar, if you ask me, and we're going to take a look at that. But as of right now, looking at this, if we look at the RSI here, it does look like a rising wedge. We do have room to come up for another high. So again, we could, if we can't break the 55.1 range, if we do head up this range, then this target's out, and this could be just B up to 55 and then C down. So that's what I'm looking at. I will keep you guys updated, and I will start posting charts more regularly in the Discord, so make sure you check on that. Also on Twitter, I've just been busy lately with stuff, so I haven't been able to post quite as much, but I'm going to get more active in that stuff. If you guys are interested in trading, check out Prime XBT, my favorite exchange. They don't trade against you. I'll leave a tutorial up top on how to use their margin. You can trade crypto, forex, gold, silver, oil, S&P, Dow Jones, all on one exchange. I'm going to use my promo code Savy50. Will get you 50% on top of whatever you deposit as a bonus, and Savy25 will get you 25% discount on all your trading fees. They have a customizable platform. It's a great platform. Like I said, check out the instruction videos. But anyways, looking at the 3-day, and then we're going to get into that dollar index versus Bitcoin. The 3-day, we had a bearish engulfing candle here on the 3-day. We've been watching that. Obviously, right now, we're popped back above all the EMAs here, which is the 21, 13, and 8. We got a nice bounce off the 13. We'll see what happens here. Obviously, we had major hidden bearish divergence here that showed us where you're going to go down. Now, there's one bullish sign if we look at the weekly, but obviously the weekly takes a long time to play out. We had the bearish divergence here, and then if we look at the lows here, we had lower lows in the RSI, higher lows in the price action. That is bullish divergence. So if that plays out, we could be looking at our new all-time highs within the next few weeks, possibly sooner. Let's take a look at the DXY. As you can see, I have yellow arrows up here. These are all top points of the dollar index. Now remember, every yellow is when the dollar topped out here, and every white one is dollar bottoms, and they correlate with the Bitcoin tops and bottoms, and I'm going to show you that in the next chart. But first we want to take a look at this fractal, and I'll show you why I'm bullish on the dollar. As you can see, these fractals seem to be playing out beautifully. We popped out of this wedge here. We did come back, test the bottom for support. And if we zoom in, you can see we're getting rejected right at the 55 EMA, just like we did here. But once we broke above that, we never looked back and just, you know, climbed up with it. As you can see where it turned right here. It seems like we're in that area right here, right now. And Bitcoin, if it's going to pump, it's probably going to happen this weekend, because if our dollar keeps pumping like I believe it's going to be, it's most likely Bitcoin's going to fall down, and we may get that correction to 37 to 40,000 and see how the reaction is. That may be a good spot to buy in or put a long, but be careful there. Like I said, there's always a possibility down to that 27 and even further. And we'll take a look at that. But remember, let's watch this 55 EMA, which is around 92.27. Watch that in the DXY tomorrow. If we break above that and get support, we're most likely going to continue up much, much higher. And it doesn't shoot up like Bitcoin in a day, guys. This will take like a year or so. But let's also pull up the indicators. And this is the 3-day chart, by the way. MACD, even the fractals playing out perfectly in the MACD here. We had our hump here, and then we had a smaller one, didn't quite get back down, and pumped from there, and that's where we're at now. And as you can see, the fractal in the RSI, the same thing here. And I'm going to show another chart in a little bit with the dollar overlaid on the Bitcoin chart, and I'll show you, I have a blue line drawn in it to show you where it broke out of this wedge and what happened to Bitcoin. Well, let's take a look at Bitcoin now. Like I said, each time we bottomed, the white represents when the dollar bottomed at each peak here. And those are all the same peaks that I put in here. Whoops. Those are all the same peaks. So all these white arrows were lows in the dollar and highs in Bitcoin. And then all the highs here were lows in the Bitcoin chart. So a lot of similarities there. Now let's take a look at, and that to me means there could be a possibility we've topped out, or we could still get one more push up. As you can see in the fib channels here, we always get rejected on this 0.236. We got rejected there. If we do come back up to test it, that could be our 62.5, 62.7 range that I was talking about. And if we get another rejection, possibly come down to new lows down here to test this fib around 33, somewhere in that range. Now in the bullish case, we break up above that 62.5, get support on top of this, and then continue up. And that could reach that $200,000 Bitcoin that people are talking about within the next year or so. So there is a bullish case there along with the bearish. Now let's take a look at, this is a fractal I've drawn in here, possible fractals of each time Bitcoin's topped. As you can see, once it goes parabolic, we have a huge correction. This was an 84% correction. This one here in 2019 was a 72%. If we've topped and we do a 84% correction again, we could go down to the $8,800 range. Possibility if it plays out. And that doesn't mean we go straight down. You know, we could bounce around in here for a while, come up, get everybody bullish again. And once we break down, come back, retest the triangle, and end up looking something like it did over here. Just a possibility. Be aware, it is possible. Anything's possible, guys. Don't get too overly bullish, unless, just don't get too overly bullish. But this is the dollar index overlaid on the Bitcoin chart. Like I said, where the wedge broke out in that RSI, you can see what happened with the dollar, and Bitcoin just continued making lows down here. Once the dollar bottoms on this bottom trend line here, that is usually a signal that Bitcoin has topped or is near the top. So be careful. Now, if you look at the tops up here, when Bitcoin or the dollar topped out, we bring it up here. And like in the charts I showed you before, every time Bitcoin tops, or the dollar tops, Bitcoin bottoms. So a good buy-in position would be next time, let me put a trend line across here. Next time the dollar gets up to this area, the trend line off of these two peaks here, probably a good time to buy into Bitcoin, because the dollar will probably start dropping again. And that may be the last time the dollar drops, and that may be the death of the dollar. And that could be sometime around next year. We'll keep an eye on it. Another thing I want to look at, another bullish and bearish case. For one thing, our funding rate is favoring the bears a little bit right now on the daily. So be cautious. Again, if this is the top, we could be looking at $8,800 to $9,000 range. And this is just a speculative, looking at this speculatively as a possible giant inverse head and shoulders. And depending on where the neckline is, this is not guaranteed, obviously, but it'd be around 35, depending on where it hits. But if we do come down here, get a bounce, come back up, we could be looking at a measured move of, whoops, this back over here, right around that $8,800 to $9,000 range. Now there's also a bullish case on this same daily chart. If we look at this as a possible bull flag and we don't get that lower low that I'm expecting, we just go up from here. If we do a measured move of this as a flag pull, put it up, if we break out, could be a $75,000 Bitcoin. So let's see what happens here. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Don't forget to subscribe by clicking the CryptoSavvy logo above my head. Smash that like button. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think. Do you think we're going to see new all-time highs before we see another test of that trend line? What do you think? Let me know. I'm curious. And thanks a lot for watching, guys. I will see you tomorrow. Also, I've been doing live streams lately, so make sure your notifications are on for those, and you won't miss out that way. Take it easy, guys. I'm out.